My name is Kelsey Music, and I work for the Kane-DuPage Soil and Water Conservation District. I am the resource conservationist. The mission of the district is to protect the land and water resources in Kane and DuPage counties. So we're helping to reduce erosion and also to protect soil and try to keep that soil where it is. It's hard for them to understand that because they've taken the organic matter or the black dirt off the top, that clay is actually very highly erodible and is such a small piece that when a raindrop hits it and dislodges it from the rest of the soil, it's lifted up and carried in sheets over the construction site. And you can see the water, whether it's clean, clear, or whether it may be milky brown and have some sediment mixed in with it. They know then that they need to treat that water before it returns to the river. If fish can't see their food and they can't see their prey, or any siltation covers up the bugs and things that are at the bottom of the river, then that becomes a major problem for the river system. So we have actually impaired waters in the state because of siltation and sedimentation and all the pollutants that stick to the soil and can move that way. If there's a development that's going to come in, they may be clearing topsoil off and then getting ready to develop that site. When the construction begins, they're coming into us for discussions of like a pre-construction meeting. We might meet them out on the site and talk about if they have in-stream work, any work near waters of the United States or streams, creek banks, things like that. And we're really talking to that contractor about what it is they need to be able to get done in order to achieve the development. Opening up too much land at a time can be a major problem. They need to sequence their construction. So we talk about all of our perimeter controls, meaning silt fence or inlet protection, the straw wattles or coir rolls that are filled with coconut and they're kind of in a long tubular type of system. If they're done with working one area and seed behind them, we're actually encouraging them to do that within 2 weeks' time. If it's going to sit idle, they need to get some seed and stabilization on that construction site. Then you've got protection from that raindrop impact that's going to actually break up the soil type. And so if you've got topsoil and organic matter and vegetation on it, you get a really good thick stand of vegetation. So if you're looking at it like a bird does from the sky and you're a raindrop that hits, you don't have any soil to break apart. You're actually, the soil velocity of that raindrop is being intercepted by the vegetation. And so actually the longer the vegetation, the better, and the denser of the vegetation, the less erosion you're going to have. And so we also encourage them to use native plants that might be more fibrous in roots and longer rooted to help for better soil stabilization. So sediment control is always usually the #1 thought when you think about construction sites, but erosion control and sequencing the construction so that you're not disturbing as much of the land as you need to is just as important, if not even more. Our job is to make sure it gets from the start of construction to the end of construction without creating any unwanted impacts to the water quality of the stormwater leaving the construction site. But the contractors are the ones that need to get that construction site from the day the topsoil is scraped off to the day that the project's finished and then the property is seeded and stabilized. So they have to deal with water. They have to think about that ahead of time. And we try to ask those questions of them of, what exact methods are you going to be using to try and keep the water off your work area.
For more information on construction site erosion and sediment control, contact the Association of Illinois Soil and Water Conservation Districts at AISWCD.org.